was your darkest hour?
I've been living happily ever after for a long time. You know, it's absurdly so.
My darkest hour I can get to really fast. It was about 1960, and life, relationships, business, work, finances, and everything had gone to a little less than zero. And I made a phone call from Spokane, where I was performing, doing like one-nighters up there, to Hollywood, to where my family at the time was. And I was in the Davenport Hotel, a little phone booth there, and I got just this dead-end news. And that was really the end. And I walked out onto Sprague's Avenue there, and I remember the snow was falling. It was very light, and I can still feel the flakes hitting me in the face as I just looked up and I just said, I give up. And I just realized I'm just not going to be able to please folks. You know, I just couldn't go on the way I was going on, and I really meant it. I give up. I wasn't thinking suicidal, but I had given up trying. It was over. And when I said that, something started, and it started like the arches of my feet. It was as if, have you ever opened a bottle of like champagne or and watched those little bubbles, how they seem to emanate at the bottom of the bottle and started working their way up and then getting frothy out of the top? Well, it was like the little bubbles started emanating from the arches of my feet. And then then they started coming out of my shins, and they were coming up my body in waves and waves, and then out of my thighs and my chest and shoulders, and finally it's like my hair was standing on end, and suddenly I was in a state of extreme joy. So extreme that it kind of frightened me. I made an appointment with a psychologist in Spokane, and he said, what can I do to help you? What's your problem? I said, I'm happy all the time. He says, I've never heard that one. Why does that bother you? I said, well, I've never really been happy before in my life. And I said, I don't understand this. I said, what's going to happen to me? He says, I don't know what's going to happen to you. He said, I've never seen anything like this before. He said, but I don't think it can last. He said, we have levels of joy. You know, there's some people that are just miserable like this. Some people are miserable and happy, and some are just kind of halfway in here, and some are this is bouncing around up here and down, and like manic depressive and all that. He says, you've somehow reached something up here. He said, I've never seen it before, and I don't understand it. He said, but I don't think you can sustain it. But what I saw from that was, suddenly everybody was perfect. The whole world was wonderful. I would watch friends of mine that were fighting and beating each other up, and I'd watch all kinds of stuff going on that I normally got into, all kinds of big battles over, and things that really disturbed me. And everybody loved me. Everybody wanted a part of me. Everybody wanted to be around me. Everyone wanted to do something for me. They wanted to give me businesses or take me into business. They wanted to. It was the most fascinating thing. And it lasted for about 2 years like that. And then somebody broke into my car and stole everything, and it kind of went down a little notch. But still, you can probably tell I'm probably happier. I remember in Fresno, I'd go in the grocery. I remember going to the grocery once, and somebody said something, Mr. Hicks. I said, do you know me? He said, oh, he said, we're talking about you all the time. You're the happiest customer that's ever comes in this store. I didn't realize it showed. But my point is, that was the most downtime of my life, and it was also within seconds the most high time of my life.
Because
and that was upset. I've never been the same since then. I've never been the same human being since that moment.
Because his desire was so powerful, Abraham has explained to us since then, his desire was so powerful, and he, in one fell swoop, which is rare, released all of his resistance. And that sensation that he was describing is exactly what it feels like when source energy flows through you. That's that feeling. He didn't know that then, but as he describes it, I always smile because that's what it feels like when that source energy comes into you. But it can't come in till you let go. And he said and meant, I let go.
Well, you've probably answered the next one, which was the reverse of that, and that was, what has been your highest high?
What's your highest high?